Look, you're hearing this testimony every day, just like the jurors are. You're taking a lot of notes. And one of the things we like to do is listen to you, share some things with us that maybe don't make it in the newscast that we do during the week, but the jury's hearing.
Yeah, we hand-selected a couple pages that we want to point out to you today. So let's take a look at the first one here. And this was when Cassie's stylist was testifying. We had heard from him about a relationship that maybe he was involved in, and he confirmed it for us all. He was talking when he was on cross-examination, telling Sean Combs' attorney basically to speed it on up, because he said, drive home the point. Yes, I did hook up Cassie with Michael B. Jordan. The jury had a reaction to that. And then they started laughing when they heard this. He just interrupted and said, he fine, she fine. And they were broken up, meaning Sean Combs and Cassie. So why not? The jury got a chuckle out of that one.
Fine. Okay, good. What else do we have here?
Yeah, and then we also saw that another assistant decided to drive that point home and make sure that Cassie had Michael B. Jordan's phone number.
You wrote something about eyebrows here. What was that about?
Yes, this is a story that's we've gotten bits and pieces as the trial has progressed, and it was about Cassie, who had an injury to her eye. And what was happening is that she was supposed to get packed to go to a trip with Sean Combs. He gets there, he's upset. She gets injured. And at the scene, Mia's on the stand and she's testifying that Sean Combs tells them that they need to tell a plastic surgeon that Cassie was drunk, and that is how she gets injured. Another assistant finds out what's happening, decides to tell HR here at the Bad Boy Productions. And then HR then fires that assistant for speaking up, that she says that Cassie was being abused, you see there, by Puff.
There was some testimony. They were afraid to go to HR of the company that Sean Combs was running. Now, we mentioned Mia. That was a pseudonym. You reported a lot on her emotional testimony, some of it graphic, and even there was more that the jury heard, and you took notes on it.
This is an example of what we can't put on TV because it's too much of a story to explain. But Mia was saying that she worked long hours for him, started at 8 a.m. In this case, it ended at 3 a.m. the next day. She says that Combs asked her to go get food for him and his friends, but she kind of stalled for a second and decided to go downstairs. Why, she says, because blood was dripping down my leg. I just needed to change my tampon. I have blood dripping down my leg. And then she says Sean Combs picks up a bowl of spaghetti and throws it at her. She says he then chased her outside barefoot, and then she hid in a bush. And then later that day, or the next day rather, she ends up at a hotel and she gets a phone call, David, from HR, the head of HR for Sean Combs' company, letting her know that she now was going to be suspended without pay because Puff, as you see it here, was the boss, and that is what he wanted.
I just want to ask you a little bit more, because you listened to the testimony of Mia, and the defense really came with an aggressive cross-examination, correct? Trying to say that some of this activity was consensual. They used her social media. Give us your thoughts and impressions of the testimony.
Yeah, they really did. They kind of dove into her a lot because she said some very positive things about Sean Combs on social media. She talked about working for him for 8 years and the highs and the lows. But she said the positive posts, those were the highs. The lows were what was happening behind the scenes, and that was the sexual assault. She said that she never wanted that, but it always seemed to happen when Cassie was not around, and it was not welcome.
All right, Erica Byfield, thank you as always for your coverage. A striptease turned scandal. An exotic dancer hired for one night. The clients, not who they said they were. He says he's here to speak his truth.